On a typical workday, people get ready and head off on their morning commute, maybe finding a bite to eat or a cup of coffee along the way. Commercial districts become crowded during that morning rush, with the cycle repeating again only hours later as people head home. Pre-pandemic, this was a common picture, but since 2020, many offices remain shuttered, with remote work a primary alternative for many. And with more people at home, that morning routine just isn't the same, and businesses that cater to commuters are feeling the effects.
There's no surprise that there is an excess amount of real estate in retail, and so there's a need to reimagine what the role of the physical store is. And we're going to see a reduction in the number of stores, but physical retail is not going away. The business strategy is going to change depending on what category you're operating in. So in like the convenience space, it already was with self-checkout and prompts, but you're going to see increasing rollout of autonomous stores. The other thing that you're going to see for business strategies is more perhaps premium brands. Physical stores will be the actual manifestation of the brand, and it will be kind of retail theatre. And you'll see less stock and more experience.
The reason for clients to visit physical stores is experience. So I think all retailers will have to think through what experience I convey through my stores and how I give a reason for clients to take some of their time to move away from home and go visit. Stores will have to reinvent experiences in a contactless environment.
For brands that rely heavily on foot traffic, reimagining new and alternative models has become essential. For example, in July of 2020, Starbucks announced a reduction in same-store revenues, pivoting its business to enable curbside options for shoppers, whereas other brands, like those that sell home brewing machines, have seen sales increase, with declines in office demand reflecting those same remote work trends.
The reason why they are dramatically down is because we are just not leaving our homes as much, because it's in the centre of London, for example, and I'm not going there anymore. So they're going to have to change their footprint to reflect that. I'm not saying there won't be wholesale changes, but I think people still want that experience. It's just perhaps where I go to get it may change, and the location of those stores and perhaps some of the formats may change.
And I think it's also interesting from a strategic standpoint, because Starbucks developed very successfully a range of products that is sold in supermarkets, hypermarkets, etc. And they sold that business to Nestlé. Having those two businesses at the time, stores on one hand, coffee sold in grocery on the other hand, was a way to mitigate risks for the future. Now, it's a more risky business than before.
Yeah, what would be interesting is to see the convenience of petrol stations and the sort of self-serve Starbucks type machines, whether they lean into that to counterweight that, Olivier, to compensate for the lost revenue in their traditional store estate.
Differences in foot traffic don't just affect retail. In the travel and hospitality industries, brands are being forced to become more digitally savvy by creating more convenient, digitally enabled experiences for both leisure and business travelers.
A good example of what the travel and hospitality industry is doing to adapt is quick service restaurants. They're using mobile click and collect with sort of geolocation. As you approach with the mobile app, how they inform the kitchen and allow curbside pickup. All of this to reduce kind of physical contact that you can't have during the pandemic. And so this is all sort of redefined what convenience is, and is a bit of a blueprint for what you need to see start happening across the whole T&H industry.
I think in terms of travel, what is clear is that business travel has changed and will definitely change in the future. So even after the pandemic, I think we'll see less business travelers in the world. Nobody will go to meet someone you already know for a meeting of 1 hour and take a flight of 2 hours just for the meeting.
Airlines will have to look at new ways to monetize the relationship, which will mean the holy grail that they've talked about for a long time, which is, end-to-end travel experiences will have to become a reality.
As you said, airlines will try to sell the whole trip and everything in the trip to their clients, but also hotels will try to do the same. And will try to sell opera tickets and rides and experiences. So I think there will be a fight to be among the platforms that clients use. So we'll see less business travel in the future, but probably leisure travel will come back and will come back in a very strong way.
While the road to recovery remains uncertain, opportunities to innovate are plentiful by using data to enrich both physical and digital experiences. businesses can define a future that keeps consumers connected, employees engaged, and organizations ready to take on the unknown. The future starts now. How will businesses play a role in what's next?